In the last video, we did finish our installation process, so our emulator is now running. In this video, we want to create a little shortcut that we do not have to start the Android Studio first, and we will also have a look into these features. And we will also discover a little bit a hidden one, which is super awesome. Are you ready for this? Then let's go. Alright, here we are back at the Ubuntu VM, and let's first create some kind of shortcut. So in the last video, we did start the emulator in the following way. We did start our Android Studio, and then we did go into more actions, virtual device manager, and here we have it. Starting the emulator in this way is still recommended if you encounter some errors, because the error handling in the terminal is not as good as we are having it here right now. And for example, if the emulator couldn't be closed, there's some kind of log file which we need to delete manually. Over here, we get this notification if we try starting it, within the terminal not. But generally speaking, we do not need to start the Android Studio to run this emulator. Alrighty? Okay. So therefore, let's create our shortcut, and if you're not encountering any error, then this is the more easy way. Alright, and let's close this. So our Android SDK comes with this emulator binary. Therefore, we're going into Android SDK. And here we have now this emulator directory, and if we run this emulator binary, let's do this. Yes, that's the way to go. So over here we can see we have to specify a device name. So we need to run our emulator and then add and the device name. Okay, let's see how we can find out what's the device name. So therefore, let's make this a bit larger, and we are simply using the -- help option for this one. All right, this is a lot. So some of these options might be really useful, but for now we are only interested in, let's see. Over here, for example, we can set an emulation camera. Pretty nice. Okay, but back to the topic. Here we have it at the beginning, of course. So list AVDs, and let's do this. Emulator list AVDs. Yes, here we've got now the name. All right, if you want to start this via the terminal, we have to go into the following path. Then we have to run this emulator binary, and then we have to apply add and then Nexus 5. So these are a lot of steps. Let's add this emulator binary, this one, to our path variable. Then we can simply start this emulator without going into the directory first. So we can run this from the terminal wherever we like. We could also create an alias which directly starts this Nexus device, but in case if you're having multiple, then it's not that useful anymore. Alrighty? Okay, so let's make this a bit smaller. Alright, so that's the path over here. Let's open a new terminal, and once again, I'm using Vim, and we're opening the ZSHRC shell. Here we've got the path variable, so let's see. Okay, let's do it this way. So here we can see path, and we are assigning the path itself, all right, and then these additional directories. So every time we start a binary, the terminal is looking into those directories for those binaries. And in this case, we have to add this one, that this binary will be found by our terminal, okay? So let's copy this. Let's go at the end of the line, pressing I for insert, already done, then colon, and we add this path. This is all. Now I hit escape, colon, WQ. Now it's being saved. So normally this should work right now if you run emulator. In this case, not. The reason for this is the path has not been updated yet. If you run a new terminal, emulator, then we can see it works. But this one over here needs to be refreshed. We can use a new terminal, or we can simply use this one with the source command and update it. Now the ZSHRC will be updated, and we can run this command also in here right now. All right, let's get rid of those and let's focus only on this one. So now we are running emulator, list AVDs. Okay, we've got Nexus 5. So to start this one, we can use emulator, emulator this way, add Nexus 5. So we need to provide this add in front of the name. Or we can use -avd and then Nexus 5, but that's easier for me right now. And there we go. All right, this is all to run this emulator right now. Setting it up once, okay, now we can repeat this over and over again. Oh yeah, something I didn't mention yet is if the smartphone stays black, then we have to hit this power button over here. So this is our first introduction into this emulator right now. By hitting this power button, we are not powering it up. It has been already powered, but we can see now the smartphone is returning. So this is the same if we lock this device and simply press this power button once again. All right? And now we are directly kicking into the usage of this emulator. So we can use this mouse over here, which is absolutely awesome. And we use this as a finger to drag and drop and click on certain things. For example, if we click on the button and drag this upwards, then we get back this menu over here. We can also open applications by simply clicking on them, for example, those settings. And we can see it's lagging a little bit, but it's not too bad. In case if you cannot afford a dedicated device or a dedicated laptop to perform all the stuff, you can still move on in the course by having this one over here. So this is perfectly fine. If you have a dedicated laptop, I highly recommend using this one. So for example, getting in Linux onto this and then running the emulator directly on the host system. This is way more powerful, as we will see later on. Okay, but back to this one. So the usage, yes, with the mouse, okay. And now's the question, we've got no buttons over here, how we get back. Those buttons are now on the right. So over here we've got those three buttons. We've got a back button, we've got a home button, and we've got this, what's the name? The overview button, all right. So this one will show all the applications which has been put into the background. None of them are available yet, but later on if we have some apps open, this is pretty useful. Then we've got the zoom button over here, so we can zoom into certain things. Not sure if this is really useful. We've got the take screenshot button. This might be useful, but we could also do this on our laptop screen. But nevertheless, we've got it over here. The location will be saved to the desktop, I guess. We will find this out later on. This one is handy because later on we have some mobile games which needs to be rotated, and here we can easily rotate the screen. We make this back, okay. Then we've got volume down and volume up, and this one we have already seen, this is the power button. So these are some shortcuts for this device, but more important are those three dots. So these are the real settings. Let's open this one and we already start. The UI is not responding, but I guess it's okay. We can try closing this. Yes, it will simply restart it. So I guess we're good to go. All right, so here we've got now the main menu of this emulator, and here we've got tons of amazing things. For example, this location over here. So let's see. Yes, here's a location already inserted. We can delete this one. And we can also insert a new one by simply clicking onto this map, and then we can say save point. Here we get those latitude, longitude coordinates, and we can also make a description. In the routes, let's see. Yes, we can import saved locations. So it needs to be in a certain format. And then we can play it back so that we are traveling this route over here. But I mean, this is not like faking those GPS locations. I guess in the older versions it did work, but we're using a different trick. And later on we will also spoof GPS locations based on some other stuff. So we will do a runtime manipulation with Frida, and then we will directly override those methods. But more on this later. So right now this is not that useful in my opinion, this location over here, but it's handy to have this map and getting easy access to those coordinates and things like this. Then we've got displays, and this is even more useless. I guess I haven't used this once right now. So we can add additional displays. All right, not that interesting, but now it's getting really funny. Cellular. So here we've got now the mobile connection of this device, and this sounds absolutely crazy, right? So let's enter the main menu. Now I see what the problem is. So the menu over here is missing. Yes. Okay. So I need to restart this emulator. All right, then let's do this. How can we restart this easily? Let's see if we click long on power down. Yes, then we can hit restart. So let's do this. Okay, so let's restart it. And we might encounter a problem, which is good to show right now. I mean, it was all planned in this way. Let's see. Yes, here we can see right now a snapshot operation for Nexus is pending or timeout has expired. So this error message is not that useful right now. So therefore, let's open it once again with the Android Studio. Oh, we have a shortcut for this one. I forgot about this one. Okay, and then within More Actions, AVD, Virtual Device Manager. And here right now, if we click play, then here we get now this notification. AVD Nexus is already running, but it's not. It seems to crash in a certain way. So we need to delete the following file. All right, let's delete this file. So new terminal. And then I guess the best option would be using a file browser. And then let's see, where is this .log file? Oh, we've got multiple .log files. Okay, so let's see. So normally I would do this by the command line, but yes, if you mistype there, then you might delete your whole disk. So this would be absolute unfortunate. All right, so this one is the file we need to delete. Let's delete this one. Okay, those other two also need to be deleted. So now we have those log files deleted, so we can close this. Now we can try running it once again. And we can see, yes, now it's starting. So the easiest way to get rid of this log files is simply using rm and then this command over here. But please be careful, because otherwise you might delete wrong files. I mean, it couldn't be too bad because it only deletes files with the log extension, but we never know. All right, so now the screen still is turned black, so let's start it once again. Yes, we can see the UI is still missing, so it seems not to be closed correctly. Let's power it off right now. After powering it off, let's do a cold boot. So the state gets saved, but if there was an error, the error also gets saved. It's a little bit of a downside, but we can easily fix this by going on to the right over here and then, let's do a cold boot. Okay, so now the smartphone is being booted up once again and does not rely on a snapshot right now. So let's see. Okay, so now we can see this might take a while. If we hit this power button, yes, it's not immediately turning back. So it really needs to start right now. So it's the same like we have it after the installation process. So unfortunately, we have to wait a little bit until the smartphone has been booted up. Okay, here we can see the smartphone is now booting. So you simply really have to wait a little bit. All right, so now the device is up and running. A little bit unfortunate, but now you also got everything you need to know about troubleshooting. I mean, things like the cold boot might be also available via the terminal, but having it in this way in the graphical view, it's way easier. So that's the device manager of the Android Studio. In case of any errors, try starting it by the Android Studio and powering it off, close it over here and then simply perform a cold boot that the saved broken state gets overwritten once again. Alrighty? Okay, perfect. So the thing I would like to show you where I did stop was this one over here. We were talking about cellular, alrighty. And here we've got now Wi-Fi and mobile connection. And this is super awesome because this device over here, I mean, it has no SIM card in there and also no access to a Wi-Fi access point right now. So all of this is being emulated and we can see this over here. So this one is now network type edge and we can see the signal strength is poor. We can set this to great and then this will change over here. So as a developer, this is super handy. We can simulate certain circumstances, but also as an attacker. Let's say the application behaves differently regarding to Wi-Fi or a cellular network. We can emulate and simulate this right now over here. We can also go up to 5G, whatever full means, not sure, but I guess 5G is now the highest rate. Yes, should be the highest rate. So this can be easily done with a mouse click. So this would be absolutely awesome if it would work in reality, right? So we could easily get a better signal by just clicking this over here. Unfortunately, in reality not, but on this emulator, it's pretty easy. Okay, next we've got battery. And over here we can play around with the battery level. And this is, yeah, I would say this is really important. Okay, maybe not really, but it's more important right now. Because later we will talk about broadcast receiver. Broadcast receiver are some kind of messaging system in an Android application, and some of them react on certain events, like for example the battery level. Let's say the battery level is going down, and we can observe this directly on the smartphone that the battery is running pretty low right now. And there we go, we get this message. So this is a broadcast which will be sent out to all those applications. And those applications can react to this event. And for example, they could say, oh, we're running out of battery, let's save our data real quickly before they get lost. So we can force file saves by draining the battery. And it could be also used to charge your phone pretty easily. So let's see, full speed charging in 3, 2, 1. There we go. All right, back to 100%. We can also play around with the battery health. Yes, here we've got it. So we can say this one is dead, failed, or things like this. So pretty cool. Okay, next we've got the camera. So here we can provide virtual scene images. For example, we can provide images for our virtual camera in our smartphone. So, I mean, it has a camera back and front. Let's open this maybe over here. And this one is simulating some views. All right, we can see it's a little bit laggy. Yes, so here we have it. So that's the front view, and we can also have the back view. So this is some simulated stuff over here, but we can also apply our own virtual camera, or we can apply images to this one. I mean, we could use this, for example, to scan QR codes or things like this, and this would be easily possible. Next, we've got phone, and this is maybe the most amazing feature, because we have seen, let's go back, we could use this or this button. So we have seen that we've gotten Wi-Fi and a cellular connection, but both of them are emulated, which means also phone calls and SMS can be emulated. And this is exactly what we have over here. We can select any number we want here, and then we can call this device. So all of this is of course virtualized. There is no real phone call happening, but this means we can also define the caller by ourselves. For example, let's say we've got this number 1337. And now we can call this device. And in just a moment, here we have this icon over here, and here's this call. So now we can see we can also answer it, and we can talk to this based on microphones. Right now I'm doing in this line. If the application is performing some phone calls, this might be super handy to emulate. For example, if there's a certain SMS from a certain number triggering an event, we can emulate what's happening over here. So we can spoof any number we want to have based on SMS or a phone call. Awesome, right? And it doesn't cost anything. That's even better. Regarding to SMS, we've got this here. So let's send an SMS. And this app hacking course is absolutely awesome. I mean, that's the truth, right? Of course. Let's see, send message. Yes, I can see this icon over here. A little bit laggy, as many times mentioned right now. Oh, it disappeared. And let's open this one. So that's the SMS manager this way. All right, I guess I agree. No, without chat features. Yes, here we've got this SMS. So I guess it has been displayed, but it might be too laggy to show right now. But we can see this app hacking course is absolutely okay. Awesome. Right. So we have received this SMS over here. Okay. Next we've got this one. This can be ignored. That's not really useful right now. Microphone. I mean, we can insert a headset, and then we can also call ourselves and have some voice interaction, or for example, having some voice interaction with applications if they enable those microphones. A fingerprint, something I haven't really used, so I find this not that important in the emulator. Virtual sensors, here we've got tons of sensors. For example, we've got pressure, temperature, light, or also magnetic field sensors. So all of them are being emulated, which means we can manipulate all of them. For example, we can enable this light sensor or other stuff. Decrease or increase the temperature, things like this. And then bug report, okay, I mean, we can send a bug report. Let's ignore this. Then we've got snapshots. So this enables quick boot, which means the state of the device gets saved, which is absolutely awesome if we do not have any errors, like we have seen this at the beginning of this video. But if we do not have any errors, we can, for example, freeze the current state, then we can install certain things, play around, create user accounts, and then revert back like this wouldn't have never happened. So this is pretty cool. And it also enables starting this device quite fast. We have seen also at the beginning that running in cold boot will take several minutes. And within the quick boot, it just takes a few seconds. So maybe 20 seconds to device to boot up. What's here? Yes, okay, that's just an additional settings menu. All right, and then we've got record and playback. This one is cool. Okay, I basically can say this to every option right now, but here we can create a screen recording. So we can say start recording. Okay, and then we can perform some awesome actions and show the customer how heavily we have hacked this application, and then we can stop this recording. And then we can play it back again. Okay, so simply screen recording. Here we've got macro playbacks. This is also cool, but we will use this differently later on. Okay, first let's talk about this one. So macro playbacks or macros are predefined actions that can be used in this device. For example, if we open the camera, we can, for example, play this macro here, and then this one will be inserted into the camera stream. So let's play this, and we can see this one is happening right now. So we can also create our own macros, which means we can perform certain interactions with this device, record them, and play them back again. Sounds absolutely useful, and it is. It absolutely is. But we will use a different approach. We will later write our own automation script for a mobile game. So we will keep playing this game without even interacting with this one. And this approach is a little bit better in my opinion, because it gives us more flexibility, and it also works on real devices. So therefore we are not using this one, but I mean, it's cool to know. Okay. Over here, by the way, we can see it seems like we cannot record our own macros, but I will show you a hidden interface in this emulator, which can be used to also record our own. More on this later. Google Play. Yes, we can also have, I guess we have a Google Play Store. Yes, we have one, but we need to log in into this one to use it. So if you're opening this one, all right, here we can see, yes, we have to sign in, and then also this one would be working over here. I'm not going to use this, but in case if you want to create an account, feel free to also have this Play Store enabled and downloading these applications. Last but not least, we've got these settings, and this one might be the most important one. Emulator window theme, we can change this to dark. All right, awesome, right? So here we can see this is also the screenshot save location. It's the desktop, and most of the stuff is not that interesting anymore beside one. Let's go back. Okay, into the settings, network and internet. Yes, and here we've got the Wi-Fi menu, and most of the courses, if they perform a man-in-the-middle attack, recommend inserting and proxy within this Wi-Fi menu over here. So within this Android Wi-Fi, go into settings on this one, and then let's see, advanced option proxy. Okay, so why is this a bad idea? Well, if we insert our Burp Suite or a man-in-the-middle proxy as a proxy in our Wi-Fi settings, we encounter a lot of issues. The first one is this emulator has several network interfaces. For example, this cellular and also this Wi-Fi network interface. And in the past, I have encountered this quite often, that the device is switching between them, and it's not clear when this is happening. It could be the case that the emulator is splitting this internet connection between the Wi-Fi and also the cellular connection. This means we are missing information because only the Wi-Fi connection, this connection type, will be intercepted. And this is something you definitely do not want to have. You want to have everything within this network connection. The other reason why this could be bad is applications can data mine if there's a proxy in there, for example in this Wi-Fi settings, and then they can make a decision if they want to send those data or not. In case if the application do not want to be proxied, then the application is simply not sending these data, which means this application is behaving differently and it might not send all the data out. Also there, we are missing those data. And last but not least, we could have some not that common network requests. For example, SSH, SQL, or regarding to IoT devices, which is pretty common, MQTT. So these are not that common TCP protocols, and those might not be intercepted by a proxy within those Wi-Fi settings. And even if they are, things like UDP are definitely not. And this is absolutely terrible regarding to our analysis. Therefore, I have prepared a dedicated setup within the man in the middle section where I go through all of these topics. And there we will also figure out how to intercept a connection, how to establish a man in the middle connection to fetch everything. TCP, UDP, ICMP, or whatever protocol or type would be sent over here. Alrighty? Okay. In case if you want to perform a quick setup, I've got a solution for you. So therefore, let's have a look. Okay, so the key takeaway right now is please do not use this one. In case if you want to quickly set it up and perform a man in the middle for a simply mobile application that is just doing HTTPS or HTTP network requests, then we can go into those proxy in these settings over here, and then we can choose manual proxy configuration this way. And here we can now insert our stuff. We will do this later on in the man in the middle section. So this one is more like a system proxy, and this will fetch both network connections, cellular and also Wi-Fi connection. Alrighty? Okay. And this is all regarding to those settings right now. I guess we have covered the most important ones. Feel free to play around with this one. And now we want to have a look into more hidden interfaces of this emulator, because these are even more powerful that we've got over here right now. So how can we connect to those hidden interfaces? I mean, they are not that hidden. Let's see. Okay, to connect to them, we need to figure out something first. So therefore we are opening a terminal, and then we are getting root privileges, and then we are using netstat and this one. Oh, okay, we have to install those net tools first, okay. All right, and now we repeat this command. Let's make this a little bit larger. Let's swap this a little bit. Okay, so here we can see we've got several QEMU ports where the system is listening to. So our local host is listening on 5555, 5554, and this one. So QEMU, that's the emulation framework of this emulator over here, which means these are services provided by this emulator. And let's have a look into this one. So that's the port 5554. So let's make a connection to this one. I open a new terminal, and then telnet, localhost, and then 5554. Let's close this. All right, and here we can see, oh, interesting, Android console authentication required, okay? We need to type out and this auth token to authenticate. And where can we find this auth token? Well, it's over here. So this one has been created. Let's copy this and cut this token out. Okay, and now we select everything beside this percentage sign. So this one is not being selected. Let's call it false positive that it has been marked over here. Okay, and now we can authenticate to our emulator by having the secret key. Okay, so we have successfully authenticated, and now we have some additional commands. So by typing in help, we've got a lot of additional commands. For example, this geo command. Let's see how this works. Help geo. Okay, here we can send fixed GPS coordinates to our smartphone. Or let's say the smartphone is receiving or fetching fixed GPS coordinates which are provided by us. Let's get some. So let's find some out. So this is where this location comes handy. Let's search for Greenland, for example. All right, and let's take this position. So here we can see this is the position. Let's save this right now. Set location. Okay. And now let's take those coordinates. Save point. In Greenland. Then that's the newest one, so we can delete this one. Okay, so let's see, edit. Okay, here we've got now the latitude and the longitude. So let's see how this command works. Let's put this a little bit more to the right. Help geofix. Okay, all we need to do is we need to apply geo, fix, and then longitude, latitude. We can also define satellites and things like this. So regarding to GPS, we're having 4 satellites. 3 are regarding to the position, and the 4th one is regarding to the time. It's super awesome to get a view into this, but I guess this is not required right now. Okay, so let's see. The first one is the longitude. This is this one. Oh, I cannot mark it, so let's insert it in this way. Okay, if there's a little typo, I guess we still stick in Greenland, so it should be fine. And then the latitude. Okay, and let's insert this. Okay, now we have defined some fixed GPS locations. So if we now go back into those Google Maps, and if we now click on this one, which should fetch our current position, let's see. Okay, so for now I only see white. So let's see if we are in Greenland right now, because this might be the case if we are in Greenland, right? So let's double click on this one. And there we go. We are in Greenland at this location, exactly like we have pointed this out in our smartphone right now. Awesome, right? So this is a way to easily spoof certain GPS locations, also for Google Maps and things like this. So this is pretty awesome. Within this menu, we will find some additional things. For example, we've got automation. Yes, automation. Sorry, this way. So this is what we have seen before. And let's do this. And here we can see if the command is not known, we are getting KO. All right. Help automation. Yes, and here we can use automation record, and then we can perform our macro record, and then we can stop and play it once again. But as already mentioned, we will use a better approach. Okay, so I guess we had an extensive view into this emulator, those features, hidden menus, and what else? Troubleshooting, yeah, also the troubleshooting guide. I mean, this was a little bit unfortunate, but I guess this is very helpful for you in the future, because this is something you will encounter sooner or later during this course. Alright, so this is all for this video right now. In case of any questions, please drop me a message. I have also included a troubleshooting guide within the cheat sheet. And otherwise, I'm really looking forward to see you in the next video.